Happy day before Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome to another fabulous edition of the Greater Lawrence Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chat. I am Brad Kloffenstein, your host and president of the Greater Lawrence Chamber. Today, we're mixing it up a little bit. We're going to be talking financial literacy. Our guest today works for Financial Center First Credit Union. He does their financial literacy. He's got 20 years of finance and education experience. He was a teacher and a beer salesman in previous lives, and he counsels people, groups, organizations, employers, and their employees on how to best deal with their finances so they don't end up broke and poor and when they're later on in life. So there we go. Jamie, welcome. Thank you for coming on to talk to us today.
Thanks for having me, Brad. Appreciate it.
You are quite welcome. So in addition to the intro that I gave you, if you would just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do day in, day out.
Yeah, I'll give you the 2-minute elevator speech. Probably a little bit, 2 minutes is probably too long for the elevator, but it's really funny. I actually grew up in Lawrence. I grew up, I lived there until I was a junior in high school. So Lawrence is very near and dear to my heart. Went to Harrison Hill, went to Belzer, then actually ended up going to Cathedral High School. First in my family to ever go to college, and I decided I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to make a difference in other people's lives like teachers did for me. So I went to college and got that degree in education. And it's really funny because, as Brad just said about the beer salesman thing, I actually went into the restaurant business for a couple of years and got in that sort of role of enjoying life a little bit too much, but eventually transitioned into selling, being a beer sales rep, and then eventually started teaching. I taught in IPS for 12 years. My last stop was at Arsenal Tech High School. Go Titans! If you went to Arsenal Tech, love Arsenal Tech. It's a beautiful campus. You guys should check it out. And what happened was one day my wife was looking for a job. She was transitioning and she found something on, I think it was Monster, that they're going to open a credit union at Arsenal Tech High School. So I came home and she's like, "Hey, are they opening a credit union at the high school?" And I said, "I don't know. Why?" She goes, "Well, you should find out." So I came home the next day and I found out. And I came home and I said, "Yeah, they're opening a credit union." The next thing you know, she has me applying for the position, and I actually got hired. I'm on my 12.5 year here with the credit union. I'll be 13 in June, and we started teaching at the high schools. We actually were in 3 high schools. We were at Walker Career Center at Warren Central. We were at JEL, which is at North Central, and then we were at Arsenal Tech. And I taught financial literacy to students. And then about 6 years ago, we transitioned out and decided we were going to attack, when it came to financial literacy, not only students, but also the adults of our community. So that's really what I do. I actually run the program. I do all the teaching of financial literacy.
So, sorry, I'm doing a little editing on the fly here.
That's okay.
We're coming into the holidays. We've got Thanksgiving tomorrow. Black Friday is coming up in just 2 days. Let's talk a little bit first about what are the problems that people seem to get themselves into around the holidays, and 2, how do you avoid that this year and into the future?
Okay, that's actually it's a great question. We actually had a webinar last night on this, on holiday budgeting, and I think really what we see is a lot of times, we're Americans. We love to shop. We love to consume. That's who we are. I mean, all you have to do is look out the window. You've seen the Amazon car go by, the truck go by like probably 5 times a day since COVID started. The COVID hasn't stopped us from shopping. It might change the way we're going to shop this year, but we're still going to shop. And what I've seen, and even with my own family, is the idea that you don't create a budget, or if you do create a budget, you don't really adhere to it. So what I would tell people, when it comes to the holidays and holiday shopping, make sure you're creating a budget and you're doing it with your family members, because what we know is this: we always joke, you have the holiday hangover, and the holiday hangover really is that idea that, wow, we overspent and now we have all these credit card bills. What are we going to do about that? And we're usually doing those things for the right reason. We're trying to be happy and buy things for people, but sometimes it's not really about how much you spend or what you purchase, is about what you do. So that's what I would recommend people when it comes to this. Sit down, have a budget, create a list. The list is very important when it comes to the holidays. I see so many people that purchase more things then that are on their list. And at the end, they go, where did my money go? And it's really about being in control of your money, being in control of your spending, and knowing, having a plan when you go into the holidays.
So when should people start planning for their holiday spending? Or is that something that is just a perpetual cycle like any other business where you've got a budget and you're constantly updating?
No, actually, it's a good question. And we've seen people that have not done very well in the past, but do better now after we've had the conversation. Really, when you should start planning for the holidays is actually right after the end of these holidays. I always tell people, hey, start planning for next year on December 26th. We recommend that you open up a special type of account, maybe a club account. Back in the days, they called them Christmas accounts. We at the credit union have club accounts where you can open up a December account or a November account. And actually, that's what we do in my household is we actually open up a club account and we start having an automatic deposit go into those accounts every time we get paid. So we're actually saving for the holidays all throughout the year. And it actually becomes a part of our fluid budget for the whole 12 months, as opposed to being a guy going, oh my God, it's December 24th. I have to go buy people gifts. Where's the money coming from? And I pull out the credit card or I overdraft to my account. So it's really about planning ahead and really, having that discussion and starting to plan with the budget, early in the year helps out. Because I can tell you, we used to not do that in my own house. And now that we do, wow, it's so much more peaceful and we're so much more happy.
So you'd never know it looking at me now. I actually have a personal financial planning degree from Purdue University.
Okay.
So
wow.
I've used it exactly 0 days in my entire professional life. But
yeah.
So, but you mentioned something, credit. If you could talk a little bit about credit management. I mean, it's good to have credit. It establishes your credit rating. Used wisely, it's a very valuable tool that gives you lots of options. However, people can get into trouble with that.
Yes, I think it's a really fine line. I am one of those people that doesn't say never use credit, because a lot of times credit's it's an all right thing to use, especially if you get a really good rate on that. What I would tell people is this, and I have daughters that are in their teens and their 20s, and I had to talk to them about this. It's okay to have a credit card, but the credit card's still sort of like the budget where we don't want to go over too much and we want to make sure we can pay it off every month. I always joke that, hey, number one, if I bought dinner in November, but I'm still paying on it in July, I probably shouldn't have gone out for that dinner. It's the same thing with clothes. And, you have so many people that'll go, well, I bought it because it was such a great price. Well, you've been paying interest on it for 6 months. It's not a good price anymore. So it's really about that fine line of using credit and knowing when to pay it off. Obviously, we see a lot of college students that get in trouble with credit card debt. And that's one of the things I try to go out and do is teach them at a young age how to not, to use their credit in a wise way. So when they do come out of college, their score is a good score. It's trending upwards. We can help them with those auto loans. We can help them, when they're ready to get the mortgage. And it's really a discussion that has to take place, at the home. But also, if you have a banker or somebody at the credit union, like we at Financial Center are, somebody can sit down and help you with that. We actually do a seminar on it. I do a class. It's a 45-minute class, and it's really on credit scores and how to actually build, maintain, or rebuild. So yeah, it's very important. The other thing we see at this time of year is we see people that go out and use so many different credit cards, and they ruin their credit score doing it. So I would recommend to people, if you're going to go out and use your credit card, try to use only one and try to stay in your budget.
So now you mentioned college students, and I remember back when I was in college, every corner, every day, there's somebody trying to hand you a credit card application. Right. You guys are in a unique position because you just had a merger acquisition with the Ball State Credit Union. And so you are now moving into a college market, which you haven't been in before.
True.
Talk a little bit about, obviously you want to capture those people because in theory, college students are going to be the high wage earners moving forward, and they've got a lifetime of spending in front of them. So if you can get on board and get them to be a customer, have a credit card of yours, you've got a customer for life. But then there's also some responsibility, I think, on behalf of the institutions that are pushing these credit cards, because they're also some of the problem where kids get into that debt.
Definitely. I really actually think that's where we as a credit union make a huge difference in people's lives. I'm a true believer. It's okay to get let a college student have a credit card, but I think there should be a need there for an education as far as the proper way to use it. And I think back to when I was at college. I got a credit card and nobody told me how to use it. I got lucky and did the right things. Actually, I had a father that did a pretty good job of teaching me. I had a best friend in college that had 5 credit cards, maxed them out within the first 6 months, was paying on them the whole time. I really believe that, there's nothing wrong with a credit card, and there's nothing wrong with college students that have a credit card. There just needs to be that education of how the credit card can actually help you in life and can help build your credit score. But a lot of times what we see is students get credit cards. Students have never paid a bill in their life, and all of a sudden a credit card shows up. They've never paid a bill in their life. They don't realize they have to pay on time. They didn't realize that, hey, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I spent $500. And they think, oh, wow, look, there's a minimum payment here. I can just pay the minimum payment. So I really believe, especially for us, going into Ball State, I believe it's really about creating a relationship, and that relationship should be centered around financial education, financial literacy, of trying to help that person with their financial life every step of the way, teaching them and having the conversation. You should be able to call us and say, hey, I'm wanting to do this. What are your recommendations? As opposed to just, getting online and getting something and not really having the education or the conversation.
So you've got kids that are high school, college age, correct?
And an 8-year-old, yeah.
And an 8-year-old. So what do you tell them, and when do you start talking to them about that?
Well, I try to start as early as possible. I can tell you that my 20-year-old and my other daughter will be 19 tomorrow. My 20-year-old has her own credit card, has her own bank account, savings and checking, and has her own auto loan. And we started discussing those early in her life. We did with the 19-year-old as well. But it's really funny because in the same household, we see 2 different behaviors out of 2 different children. The 19-year-old doesn't have a credit card. She never came to me and said, should I get one? She needs to get one, but I don't think she's there yet as far as financial awareness, whereas the other one is. So it's always about having the conversation. I'll go back to that whole thing. I go out and I teach students in high school. So I go to high school and I always ask the students, how many of you have a bill? And, they'll raise their hand. And the next question will be like, so do you pay your parents or do you pay a company? And the majority of them pay their parents. So it's their cell phone bill or it's their auto insurance. And I go, so what happens if you're late? Nothing, mom and dad just keep on me until I pay them. But I tried to explain to my daughters, the companies aren't going to do that. And when you do make that mistake, it's going to affect you in your future, because there's so many people that come to me now that are in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and I'm helping rebuild their finances and their credit score. It's so important to have that conversation early on in life.
So when you're dealing with people that aren't in your family, how do you find them where they are and then try to correct that behavior? I mean, obviously, do they seek you out? Do you go into their classes? How does that process work?
Well, let's talk about, the adult population. So we've got a few different ways we do this. So one is we actually have a series that we offer to our members of the credit union, also to the community as a whole. It's called Wealth Builder, and they're webinars, and we offer about 4 a month, and we cover different topics every month. Like we had a class last night. I had 60 people in a webinar last night at 5:30. And they come in and we talk, and last night was actually planning for the holidays and, how to stick to the budget. So that's one way we do it. And those people that need help there, we put it out and say, hey, if you need help, just email me and we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation. We also do with our business partners. We go in and we do lunch and learns. Our program is called Work Perks. And we do know this about when it comes to people that own businesses. When your employees are financially stressed, it takes away from their productivity in the workplace. So we figured if we can go and help them with their financial stress, that'll help with the productivity. And we've seen gains in that the last 4.5 years. We've been knocking that out of the park. So we do that and we follow up. There's always a one-on-one if they want one, and we sit down and we help them, either if it's helping with basic budgeting, whether it's rebuilding a credit score, whether it's consolidating debt, whatever it is, we do that. And actually the third thing we do is we actually offer it to the community as a whole. So I actually work with people, I work with groups, rehabilitation groups, drug rehabilitation, just teaching people about having a bank account and doing the right thing. I work with a group, I work with few different domestic violence groups. I'm helping women that have never had their own bank accounts, teaching them about that. So it's really about, finding where that person is, because everybody, all of us are in a totally different, we're not all in the same place when it comes to our finances.
So how do you, as you're talking to somebody, convince them that they have zombie dust tastes on a ham's budget?
Well, what we do is, usually we sit down and, the idea is we create a spending journal to see where the money's going. Because so many times, and this is in all honesty, this is 70% of our population. They earn the money and they live paycheck to paycheck, but they don't know where their money's going. And it's really about sitting down and writing it out. Whether it's, oh my God, I didn't realize I spent $40 a week at Starbucks, or I didn't realize I spent $100 a week dining out, or if it's, I spent, $25 on beer when I should have spent 10. It's really about finding those areas and having the conversation. Obviously, the answer is I can't make you do anything. I guess the answer to me is I offer my service for free. That's what we do at the credit union. That's what I do. So, hey, it's almost one of those things where I'm going to give them something they can do. If they come back and we sit down, then it's on them to come back. And, the great thing is about 80% of the people do come back for a return visit or more.
Oh, that's great. Now, it's hard to make money on free.
Well, no, you know what? And that's good that you said that. But I'm in a really good place where the credit union really believes in financial literacy for our members and for the community as a whole. So I'm the person that does that. And I think that's really what differentiates Financial Center from the other banks and credit unions, that you have somebody like me. That's what I do. But I got to be honest with you. We've helped our members with financial literacy and with saving so much money. I can tell you this, when you do it the right way, they keep coming back for everything else. It's that whole word of mouth thing. Hey, if you've got a person, you have that relationship, they're always going to come back to you because you're doing the right thing. And that's really what it's about. It's about changing their lives financially and helping them. And, in the long run, we're going to earn some money that way, right?
Exactly. So,
right.
Funny, we've got a luncheon coming up in mid-December, and our speaker is Danny O'Malia, and he's going to be talking about customer service and how superior customer service translates into long-term profits.
Yep. Well, it sounds like a fellow Cathedral graduate to me.
So,
shout out to Danny, and I bet Janet's his daughter. So Janet and I graduated together.
Really? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Danny of O'Malley Supermarkets. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now is the opportunity in our show where we will open it up to questions. So Erica, Russ, Rick, Dusty, if any of you have questions.
I'll jump in real quick here.
Oh,
Not so much a question, but since you brought up Danny O'Malia, the good fortune of producing him for his Indy's Trusted Servant show for WITT, which airs this afternoon on 91.9 at 4:30. And today's show is featuring the Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving event, and he's interviewing Stephanie Sanders. So I'm kind of guessing that's something that you've got a tie to.
Yeah, it's really funny that you bring that up because we actually sponsored, Stephanie and I are great friends. I saw her yesterday, and we sponsored Moselle Sanders for many, many years. And actually this year we partnered with Wish TV to help them get their fundraising up, and they're having a banner year. So yeah, I know Stephanie, I know her son Stephen, I know her son Michael, her son Roosevelt. I know them all. They're all very good. They're actually at the credit union yesterday. We had a press conference with it wasn't the mayor, it was the mayor's assistant. I can't remember, pardon my French, deputy mayor was there. So yeah, I know Stephanie, and that's really great. Tell Stephanie Jamie said hi, and she'll be like, what? So yeah, it's really funny that, Moselle Sanders is dear to my heart. It's dear to the credit union's heart. So yeah, we love Stephanie.
Well, a little bit out of from my past is that when I first came to Indianapolis in 1977, I worked at WTLC, 77, 94. So I worked with Moselle when he had his show on there up to the time he died. So I knew him quite well, and couldn't think of a better man. And when I got the word here that the Thanksgiving event was struggling this year, we jumped in everywhere we could with WITT and got Danny involved, and Danny got pretty excited about it. Danny, as you know, is the man on the spot, and he also stuck around for our Indy Nocturne program, which we recorded right after that, which was a tribute to Hal Yeagy. Slippery Noodle, and Danny taught him at Cathedral High School, and so he stayed around and gave his little bit on that. And of course, he had Hal on his show back in March, right before pandemic shut everything down. So again, I just have a lot of high marks for what you do at Financial Center.
Thank you.
It's a great organization. I would be with you guys, except for the fact that I've been with TCU literally since before I ever knew of you guys. I have past relationship where, and they've hired me to do stuff for them too. So
Well,
that
you can have 2 bank accounts. It's okay.
Oh, well, I would, except my wife is at Community at the
Okay.
Heart Hospital, and they're married to Members Credit Union.
Yes, they are. Very good.
We have financed 10 cars through those guys. No, I know what you're doing, though. I've not seen out of either of those 2 credit unions I mentioned as far as the financial literacy. So I certainly encourage you to, and that's something I need to mention to Danny too, because that's probably a future interview.
Oh, I'd love to. Actually, that's a great that you bring that up, because actually we've won the award for financial literacy in the state of Indiana through the Indiana Credit Union League and students for the last 10 years, and we've won the national award. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's been 5 years out of the last 10. I think I got 2nd place this year. So yeah, we've won the awards, and that I'm really lucky I get to do this, because it's funny you bring up Danny and Cathedral, because that's really what changed my path in life, and the idea of wanting to make a difference and be an educator, because I had teachers there. I had Jimmy O'Hara, who was my teacher, and it made a huge difference in my life, believe it or not. He was a great guy. So yeah, so that whole family changed. I came from a neighborhood and family that, this is how you succeeded. And I learned that it wasn't always this. You had to use this. Yeah. So it changed that's the reason why I taught in IPS, because I wanted to make a difference. And that's why I do financial literacy now, because I want to make a difference. Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you. You tell Stephanie I said hi.
I will do that.
Tell Stephanie to give me a call during the show. You don't have to. I'm joking. She will. She'll go way off script. Don't do that.
It was nothing short of amazing. While Danny was doing the show, there was somebody who wanted to contribute. We were recording it, so it's airing today. We recorded it on Monday.
Oh, that's great.
Business showed up with a check for $500. Showed up at our studio, and had to call to get the directions. Got lost because they were relatively new to Indianapolis. I mean, that's the power of what happens with that Moselle Sanders event. So we felt like we've been helpful, like you guys have been over the years.
I've got great news. I'm not going to say any numbers, but they have far exceeded anything they've ever raised this year, and we were just happy to help be a part of that, man. I mean, I love Stephanie, and I'm so. It warms my heart during the holidays to know that we're able to help. And it's really sad that, they can't feed for as many this year because of the limitations on the kitchens. But man, I'm there every year on Thanksgiving. I've been there the last 5 years. So shout out to Danny and shout out to you. Love to get with you and Danny and have a conversation.
Well, I'm going to tell Danny about this and see if we can get you. Probably will be closer to first of the year, but to have fine. We record them a few weeks in advance, and we do some replays for Christmas, so probably be January.
Oh, we're fine. Yeah, that's fine. Anytime. I'm very busy right now. I appreciate it. With that, I was going to say to you, Brad, real quick. I didn't actually promote this, but Dusty and I actually do a podcast. So we do Carpe Dime. So if you want to listen to sort of like what our shtick is, check out Carpe Dime. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. It's really we really take a fun approach to finances and make people laugh, but also make them go, maybe they've got a good idea there.
Oh, that's great. I had no idea you guys did that.
Oh, yeah, Dusty. That was Dusty's brainchild. She had the need to feel a little, to use her her skills that she hasn't been able to use. Say that again, Dusty?
Creativity, yeah.
She wanted to be creative. She came to me last year, and I'm like, sure, I'll do it with you. So, yeah, you can check it out, Carpe Dime. We've done 18 episodes. Number 18 came out last week. We got number 19 in the can. We're going to record 20 next week. We've got a good listenership. We're over almost 3,000 listeners right now in less than 12 months. So not too bad.
That's great.
That's great.
So, Dusty, why have you been keeping that from me all this time?
I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have been, right?
Exactly. So, Jamie, in the time that we have left, what is your Thanksgiving table going to look like, and who's going to be there?
Actually, it's going to be my wife, my oldest daughter, my 8-year-old son, my daughter's boyfriend, my youngest daughter, who's 19, turns 19 tomorrow. She's in California. She's out there. She's been out there with relatives since August. So she, as a father, I want her to come home, but I'm also you get to live in California. And she's doing all of her school online. So it's sort of like, I get it. And then my mother-in-law is coming over, and I believe our niece is coming over. So it's going to be pretty small.
Okay. So you
Yep.
used to be a beer salesman. I understand you're still a beer connoisseur.
Consumer at least. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going to be in the cooler this weekend?
What's in the cooler? Well, I've been trying to lose a little weight. I lost a few pounds before the holidays so I can enjoy. I actually bought a sampler pack from Costco like a week and a half ago in a Sierra Nevadas. So I think Sierra Nevada's got the best West Coast IPA out there. I don't know if you believe in that or not. And I mean, I've had the Pliny, and I've had all the great things. But when it came to that, it has four different IPAs. I've got the Hot Bullet in there. I've got the seasonal in there. So I've got the New England one with the juicy. So we're good to go. I think we're probably going to drink a little of that. And I'm guilty. I'm a Scotch guy too, so I'll probably have a Scotch at the end of the night.
What? A beer guy drinking Scotch?
Yeah. Well, here's a funny one for you though, because we talk about holiday traditions, right? And my wife and the daughters and the mother-in-law usually go out shopping on Thursday. So it's usually us guys, and we turn on The Godfather, we hang out and watch The Godfather and have cigars, but they're not going out shopping tomorrow, so I don't know what tomorrow's going to be. It's a whole new tradition in our household.
You even going to have football on the television?
Oh, yeah, during the day, yeah. Football during the day. We won't watch the night game. We'll watch The Godfather usually. Probably tomorrow will be a holiday show. Huh?
What's your favorite scene in The Godfather?
Oh, my gosh. I know it was you, Fredo. I know it was you.
I'd go to the bizarre side. The horse head is at the time.
Yeah, I know it was you, Fredo. Yeah, and when she tells him that she didn't lose the baby, that she wouldn't bring another baby into life, into that family, when he freaks out, that's a great scene too. So I loved it. I was a history teacher, so I love the history aspect of it. I know it's not specific, but it's pretty close to members of the Five families. So I enjoy watching it.
Oh, that's cool. So, Jamie Davidson, thank you very much. Financial
Thank
Center,
you
thank you for all you do. Thank you to Financial Center for making you available and for all the support that they give the Greater Lawrence Chamber. You guys are a great part of the community. Any chance this Saturday, is a Lawrence Christmas with the parade?
Oh, is it?
And
they're gonna do that this weekend, huh?
They are. So they
What time do you know?
The parade launches at about 5:30. So
is that going down 56th Street or going down Franklin?
So it actually starts at the Government Center at 59th and Libra, or 59th and Post.
Okay.
It winds around Lawton Loop, which is the old officers' quarter area.
Right.
Goes across Otis Avenue. It ends up at Centennial Plaza, which is pretty much right behind Giacomo's Pizza.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So they've got a skating rink set up there. They're going to have hot chocolate. The parade sounds pretty extensive. I've been part of the planning on this. In fact, the chamber, the city asked us if we get some of the classic cars that attend our cruise in during the summer to be an entry. So we've got some banners that are made up. So we've got probably 6 or 8 cars that'll be in there. Santa's going to be riding a fire truck or dump truck or something. So
Dino's going to put him on the fire truck this year. That's great. Yeah.
Yep. So the only thing they said, the kids aren't allowed to sit on Santa's lap this year, which is a little bit of a bummer. But
mine doesn't like that anyways. Are you guys going to have the group that brings the reindeer out?
I haven't seen anything about the reindeer. I know there's a marching band of some sort, and police, fire. They've got a bunch of Jeep Wranglers that are going to be out there.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's going to be about a 30-minute parade. So,
I love the idea of the skating rink and everything. That sounds great.
Yeah. So I'm just glad that Lawrence is doing it. I mean, a lot of cities have said, we're canceling.
So many communities have canceled it. So
So
we might get out there. Thank you for the invite.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you everyone who joined us this week. Next week, our guest is going to be Chris Jeter, brand new state representative from District 88, which is northeast Lawrence Township, and then up around Geist and Hamilton County a little bit, and then the western edge of Hancock County. So he'll be here. And otherwise, everyone enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the turkey, the cranberry sauce, and the deviled eggs. And enjoy your beer. And I'll see you all next week.
Thanks, Brad.
Take care.